Blount County sports since 1978. Featuring the Greenfield Gunner, Mike Edwards, former Maryville Scott, Donnie Moore, and from the Daily Times, Marcus Fitzsimmons.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, and I'm here at the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville along with Blount County Sports Hall of Famer Donnie Moore and longtime sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons, ex-University of Tennessee basketball great Tony White, and former Alcoa basketball standout Dwayne Easter are here with us. Rick Barnes and his volunteers head to Bruce Pearl Land, and we're going to the Whistle Blows. And now let's set today's lineup card. Donnie Moore will fill us in on the latest high school basketball scores, and we'll follow up with the top national sports news. Marcus Fitzsimmons will be on board to update us on what's happening in local high school sports, and we'll cover the teams and individuals who are making a mark. Today will be Maryville High School Day, as Rebels boys basketball and wrestling will be on the agenda. And I'll jump in and talk some UT basketball and then break down the college football championship game between Notre Dame and Ohio State. We're happy you're here with us, so let's break the huddle and dive right in. Donnie Moore and Tony White, Marcus Fitzsimmons, Dwayne Easter, good morning to all you guys on this blustery Indiana morning. Boy, it's Indiana's hanging around down here in the weather.
Yeah, it is.
Huh? Yeah, and I'm the only guy at the table that's I'm homesick for all that. Huh?
Yeah.
You can have that homesickness, Mike.
Exactly.
Your frozen tundra can go right back up to where it came from.
Yeah, it's hanging around a little bit longer, but it's supposed to get better next week. Donnie Moore, letter rip this week was, boy, I didn't have as many. Huh?
Well,
usually I've got 3 or 4.
Sometimes you're a little bit thin on subjects to let rip on.
Yeah, but I think I've got one here that we can jerk around a little bit. I'm ripping UConn coach Danny Hurley for berating officials during last week's home game against Butler, in which the Huskies won 70-68 in overtime. With 2:58 left in regulation, Hurley went off on an official in a glaring way, yelled at said official, who proceeded to turn around and walk away, and Hurley supposedly remarked, "Don't turn your back on me. Don't you big-time me. I'm the best coach in the blank sport." Huh? Now, I think all this started out in Hawaii. I think he had some problems out there and kind of went off. And I think TV really liked the performance that he gave out there, and they're just sort of zeroing in on him right now.
Ratings.
And he's a little upset that the TV's on him and not the other coaches. Every time the other coach gets upset, they're not even. I guess they're not even putting the TV monitor on him. But what's going on here, Marcus, with Danny Hurley? I know he's won a couple of national championships out there, and I guess maybe he feels a little entitled. But what's your take? Yeah.
Well, if you're UConn and you're watching the SEC teams are on SEC and ESPN, and the ACC's on ESPN, and the Big Ten's on Fox, and you're sitting there saying, well, who's watching us?
Exactly.
So the only way they can get on is to have something happen on the court and make the highlight reel and make it on ESPN, because they don't have a contract like these other conferences do.
Tony White, he says he's the best coach in the sport, and I'm not going to knock his 2 national championships, but his teams are always well rested because the league he plays in is not worth a hoot. The Big East is a down league, and the SEC and the Big Ten are beating the heck out of each other. And the Big East, he didn't have to play anybody. Yeah. And the other night he went into overtime against Butler, and Butler's lost 9 of their last 10 games, and he's just barely beating them in overtime. So I don't know, huh?
I don't know either, but the only thing I'm saying, tell you the truth, I wasn't watching the game, but I did see the highlights of Danny Hurley.
Right.
Exactly. You didn't see, there was nothing in the game they were going to put on there, so they, I mean, I'm not sure Danny's just not playing smart to make sure his program stays on the public mind.
Exactly. To me, because, you say UConn and Butler.
Who's going to watch that?
Alabama and Auburn. So, it just.
Well, there's only 3 teams in that league right now that's playing. That's Marquette and Connecticut, and St. John's has made a little bit of a run, but you know, heck, if he's talking, I don't know if he's even the best coach in his own league. You know, if I had to vote, if I had to vote between him and Rick Pitino, I'd probably take Pitino. You know, look what he does. He takes something wherever he goes, and he makes something out of it. I mean, you know, St. John's was in the gutter, and it's taken him a year and a half to bring that program back to national prominence, and he's tied for the league in the Big East right now.
Right.
Tony.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, hey, I don't know about the best coach.
Yeah.
But he got that kid from Indiana, didn't he?
He did. He got that kid from my hometown. I got a hometown guy in Greenfield.
Oh yeah.
Braylon Mullins. You know everybody in the country was after him, 5-star, and he signed to go to Connecticut. You know, he decided not to go to Indiana or Purdue or Notre Dame or Butler
or Tennessee.
Or Tennessee. Yeah, they were up there. Tennessee had their whole staff up there, and they were doing real well with this kid, and then they called me to help him, and the kid went to Connecticut. that shows you, Tony, just exactly what kind of pull I had, buddy.
Well, Mike, if he'd come down here, you'd probably have good tickets this whole season.
Yeah, I could have probably got into a game. Now I got to call Tony, and he don't have much pull over there. He didn't have any pull at all. And then I was thinking, man, we get Braylon down here, we get season tickets there behind the bench.
Oh boy, I tell you, man.
But anyway, Tony, after he decided to go to Connecticut, I didn't hear from any of the coaching staff over there.
Oh really?
No, I'm still waiting on a call over there. So don't feel bad, you know, if you feel left out over there, because I'm a goner too, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
And it'll probably be I don't know.
Wow.
I'm 74. You know, I'll be probably 120 before another kid out of Greenfield.
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
they'll recruit. So I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty wild right there. Yeah.
Anyway, he's going to Connecticut. He's going to play for Hurley, and Braylon's. I think he's a pretty straight shooter and a good kid, but he's going to learn a lot of new words over there in Connecticut.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Yeah. But anyway, getting back to him a little bit, Barnes and his whole coaching staff, they got in late on him.
Oh really?
They got in late on him, but you know, he had his visit all lined up down here, the Alabama. He was going to come down to Alabama weekend, and I helped out with that. And, and they called and said, well, he's all lined up, ready to go. And I said, well, he's got the best weekend on the schedule, the Alabama football weekend.
Right.
And about a month before, you know, the date to come down here, he just out of the clear blue. I pull up, you know, the deal pull up Facebook, and it's all over there that he's committed to go to Connecticut. I mean, he didn't even take
he's going to visit Alabama and Kentucky too.
I mean, my gosh, I got him all lined up for a visit. I mean, I couldn't do anything else. I mean, you know, heck, if you can't get him down here for the visit, I can't help you. You know.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So
well, anyway.
Maybe UConn rolled out some money or something. You know.
Yeah, they did. I'll tell you exactly what they gave me.
Okay. Well,
$800,000.
Did they?
$800,000, and that wasn't the best offer he got. Indiana offered him over $1 million.
Really?
Yeah. So he's a 5-star. And Barnes and the assistant coach, I didn't talk to Barnes, I talked to the assistant coach, but they said he was further along than Dalton Connect.
Wow.
You know, so and a lot of people think he's a one and done. I think Rick Barb's told some people that. You know, that he mentioned the kid and said, hey, he's a one-and-done player. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with him. I don't know whether he is or not. He's playing a lot of zone defense in high school, and he's, you know, going from zone in high school to college is going to be an adjustment for him. But he's 6'6". He can shoot the ball from 25, 30 feet and take to the basket. I mean, he got all the tools.
Okay.
Got all the tools. So we'll see
Wow.
what happens. Well, I don't know how we got on that, but he's going to see Dan Hurley, and I don't know whether he'll be the same or he'll be salty. You know, he'll be salty when he comes back home. That's
well,
for
Mike,
sure.
you just be sure, you know, if things don't work out for him the first time around, you know, I mean, maybe Tennessee can be a second or third stop.
Exactly.
There you go.
You know,
there's your ticket.
That's exactly right. There may be another shot for me in all this.
There you go.
Hurley might go to the pros. I mean, he almost went to Los
That's
Angeles.
true.
He may get fed up with the officiating. He might say, I'm done. I'm out of here. You know?
Well, it just might be his attitude and coaching, cussing at the guys. So, you know, cussing at the players.
Yeah,
so
he may not
you
like
never
that.
know.
You
You never
may
know.
not like that deal.
Yeah.
And
No.
yeah.
Now, do
So
you like anybody in your face all the time?
I'll put my cell phone. I'll put my cell phone on hold, and I'll wait for that coaching staff to call me back.
Hey, might put it on hold because,
Oh, well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's hope. It's hope. It's hope for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, it's good to have you back. And
Well,
Tony just had.
I'm glad to be back.
Tony had hip replacement in October. I had hip replacement in July. Tony's got 2 hips now, and I got 2 hips. And we haven't seen a dime of NIL money, have we, Tony?
Oh,
Or
no,
They
no.
beat the heck out of us. We're mentally and physically we're destroyed, and we have not seen anything from
No.
over there on the hill.
Are
have
y'all
we?
not filming a commercial for the manufacturer of those hips? I mean,
No.
I think they could work out a deal for you there.
Yeah.
Hey,
good
it's
idea.
likeness. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, maybe we ought to all of us retired players ought to get together and form our own group, our own cooperative, and start lining up commercials for each other and so forth and so on. I'll tell you right now, if they could see us walk and look at us, they'd say, by golly, I'm sending them all the money I can send them.
I know that's right. Yeah. No
Yeah.
pain. No pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk some Tennessee basketball. Vols are heading down to Auburn to take on Bruce Pearl, and this is a big one. The Eagles are number 1 in the country. Number 1 in the country. It's going to be a tough deal down there. Broom, their fine player, Pearl says he's game to game, and when a coach says, game time decision, and when a coach says that,
He's playing.
He's playing.
Yeah.
I mean that's the way I see it, Tony.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
playing.
Yeah. Game time decision. Right.
Yeah.
He's playing.
Yeah, he's playing. 8:30 on ESPN tonight, and this begins a stretch for Tennessee. Tony, it's a tough deal. They got number 1 Auburn, they got number 9 Kentucky coming up. They got number 5 Florida, they got number 22 Missouri, and they got to go out to Oklahoma and play out there, and then they got to go back up to Kentucky. I mean, it's a really hard, great stretch as far as building up your resume for the NCAA tournament. The fortunate thing is they got the first Kentucky game in Florida and Missouri. They got all of those games at home.
Okay.
And then later on in the year, they got Alabama at home. So those real contenders, so to speak, they got them over here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they definitely need those. But we got to tweak maybe 2 or 3 of those tough ones on the road right now. Against. I'll just say tonight, if they come out and play, everyone have to carry their load tonight. It's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, down there so far, the team that's got the best road win. You're looking at the toughest place to win on the road. They're all tough.
Right.
They're all tough places
Right.
to win.
Right.
But if you're looking at really tough places, you're looking at over here.
Right.
You're looking down to Auburn.
Right.
You're looking at Alabama and to me and Kentucky.
Kentucky.
And
right.
Alabama lost that home game, I think, to Ole Miss there maybe a week or so ago.
Yeah, they did.
But they got that game back when they went up to Rupp, Tony, and beat Kentucky up there. So
Yeah.
they got that game back because they wanted a place that a lot of people aren't going to win at.
Right.
And that's
True.
up at,
True.
That's up there at
True.
Rupp.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm just from top to bottom of this league. I'm just really, to me, it's the strongest league I've seen ever. I mean, I can remember 4 or 5 teams, but I mean, we're talking about Auburn, Alabama, Ole Miss, Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, Texas A&M, Kentucky, and you can throw in a couple of more teams. I mean, you're looking at maybe 10 teams right now that look like they're into the NCAA tournament. Huh?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, not the 10. I'm looking at maybe 15 teams getting in. I mean, how they playing right now, because Ole Miss and Mississippi State. I'm just saying, and those teams, and plus Vanderbilt. I mean,
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt surprising people. They playing hard.
They are.
I'm
they have Kentucky today
right
at home, and if they get that game, I think they go to 4-2, and there you are.
Yeah.
They're in it. They're back in it again. So
back in it. I mean, I'm just saying, NIL is doing some great things. The portal is for universities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think the magic number is this year for Mike? I mean, how many losses is the league regular season champion going to have?
The regular season champion, back in my day, and this has always kind of been the rule, is you got to win all your home games, and you got to play 500 or just maybe a tad better on the road to be in the race. This year, gosh, I don't know. I think it's Auburn, Alabama, and Tennessee. I think those three teams right now, to me, I think those are when all the cream settles,
Right,
off the top, and everybody else will, they'll play around with it. I think as the season goes on, but I don't know. It could be
5?
4 or 5 losses. 4 or 5 losses, probably 6 losses.
I'll tell you, this
6
year,
losses.
oh yeah, I'm saying maybe 5 or 6. I'm talking that'd be the number 1 team in the SEC.
I think you could be right. I mean, somebody might surprise me and do 4, but I don't see anybody doing better than 500 on the road this year.
Right.
I really
Right.
don't.
No. Back in my day, it was 4. 4. If you lose 4, you can maybe tie.
Right.
But listen, it was back in the early 70s. It was Tennessee, it was Vanderbilt, and it was Kentucky, and then Alabama slid in there. They started to slide in there, bringing in players.
Right.
But those 3 or 4, and everybody else stepped down. Stepped down. I mean, there were tough road games, but not what we're seeing.
No.
Not what we're seeing today. I mean, this league's tough, pretty much top to bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Top to
Tennessee
bottom.
got? 3 top 10 games in a row?
Yeah.
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 Auburn, Kentucky, and
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, Florida went into South Carolina last weekend. Their South Carolina's 0-5. And listen, the only time they led in the ball game was the last shot they hit. Is that
Exactly.
right, Tony? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's the only
Yeah.
time they led in the whole game.
Last
and they
second
won
shot.
won it by 1 point
There you go.
over there. So and that's the bottom of the league right
I mean,
there.
that's what I mean. This is going to be a brutal league schedule. I don't know if anybody's going to come through
I mean,
without a couple lumps.
the difference is that you're definitely gonna have to win your home game
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
on the road,
That's
on the
true.
road this year, you can, hey,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look what Tennessee did to Mississippi State. They did not look like a top 20 team
right,
in Thompson Bowling Arena.
right,
Yeah.
They opened up like they were
Right.
Mississippi State that we expect to be Mississippi State. They didn't look like
Mm-hmm.
a team that's getting national attention.
exactly.
Yeah. With Tennessee going on the road, Tony, I think that they have really got to do the 2 things they really do well. One is rebound.
Most
These teams come in here, and if they can't board on the offense, if they just get 1 shot, and Tennessee limits them to 1 shot a lot of times, and that wins a lot of games for the Vols. They've got to do that. They got to rebound and going on the road, and they've got to play great defense.
Right.
Now, when they lost to Vanderbilt down there, I didn't see that real aggressive defense on the court like I normally see when they go on the road.
True.
A lot of times you go on the road, it's like pulling teeth when they're playing with that sticky defense. I didn't see that. I didn't see that at Vanderbilt, and Vandy was right with them on the boards, and
Right.
they got beat.
Right.
They got beat.
I saw it. I saw what you're saying right now about the defense when they was down in the last 2 minutes. I saw them hustling, playing the Tennessee style of defense
They sure did.
in the last 2 minutes. But then you had the whole game where you let Vandy get confidence, and that hurt them.
Yeah.
That hurt them. But like you say, that defense, the defense got to travel tonight, and the aggression. If we can't get pushed around like we did down in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. We got pushed around in Florida, and then odds got big, and everybody didn't, they didn't respond.
And really, there at Texas, they trailed most of that game up until about like the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So they're really lucky that they're not 0-3 going on the road going
Yeah.
down there today.
Well, yeah, I mean, hey, we just got to be thankful for that win. We'll take it, but like I said, that playing on the road this year. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be. It's a nightmare, man.
Maybe we, need to
it's brutal.
maybe we need to talk to him and get Josh Heupel's office moved a little bit farther away from Rick Barnes so that road thing doesn't become contagious.
All right.
Oh boy, I'm going to be going to that.
Auburn's a 6.5 point favorite, going in today, and of course this game is a step toward the SEC championship and.
All right.
And seeding the NCAA tournament. I mean, early. I mean, it's
Right.
still really early,
Right, it's
but
still early.
it's a key game when you look back on the season. But
It's pivotal. It's pivotal. Very pivotal.
yeah,
game.
I think Tennessee's got to do some things to win this game. You got to keep Ziegler out of foul trouble.
Well, true.
That killed him at Vanderbilt when they put him they put him out with
Yeah.
2 fouls right there
Yeah.
before the half. That's where Vanderbilt made their surge, and they kept that surge all the way through the second
True,
half. But
true.
he's giving you 36 minutes a game. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of minutes.
Right.
That's a lot of minutes. So he's not real comfortable with the backup point guard right now, and they got a board down there, and they got to keep their composure because that crowd's going to be unbelievable.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and turnovers. They got to limit turnovers, and guys. They played a game there. I don't know. I think down at Texas they turned it over 15 times and got away with it, and that they were really lucky there. But they can't turn the ball over there. And then of course the defense. We've already talked about that.
Right, but we just got to. We really tonight. I'm just telling you, in the first 3 minutes, we got to match Auburn intensity at home.
Yeah.
We got to be. I'm just telling you, man. We got to come out slinging tonight because they're gonna try to put the game. They're going to try to knock us out early. Yeah. If they knock us out early, it's going to be a long night. But we got to match their intensity and play aggressive.
Yeah.
Play aggressive.
Dwayne Easter, this is Bruce Pearl versus Rick Barnes. Do you think there's anybody around here that's still rooting for Bruce Pearl? Or does this game does it mean more to Bruce Pearl than it does Rick Barnes? Or, there's still a lot of feelings for
I'm sure there's a few. Might be some of their guys that played for him. Maybe I don't know.
I don't have any feelings for him.
I never played for him, so.
But there are still, there's still some people around here that would have liked to have him.
But I think Lanier needs to play really aggressive. There's been some games where he just kind of looks like he's a little bit going through the motion. Now, this last game at home, he really stepped it up, I thought, as far as defense and his shooting.
Well, Tony, there's one thing about Lanier in this stretch where he got to where he wasn't shooting as well. Unlike us, he's passing up some shots.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that screen. I'm going,
wow.
Yeah.
You pass that up.
Wow.
You pass that shot up. What are you thinking there, huh?
Well, yeah.
I don't know about you, but
I think he got to be aggressive. Take the shots. I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking, and you're probably in the same boat that I'm in. When a coach gonna tell you to
shoot the ball?
Shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And you don't do it.
And you don't do it. Okay, so I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, if the coach sat me down because I wasn't shooting, something wrong. I had a broken arm or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm shooting
if
that
he tells
ball.
you to shoot it, you're gonna shoot the ball.
What? Oh my goodness.
Well, first of all, with us, that was never a problem.
Exactly.
So you don't even have to talk about that.
Oh, man. And listen. They're like, no, Tony, no, Tony. Bad shot. Good shot, Tony.
What Coach told me, said, that's what we're paying you for.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, man.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the biggest
go down
statement.
go down there in the locker room after the game. They always pass out the stat sheets. Remember?
Yeah.
I'm looking at that, and I'm going, damn, I only got 18 shots tonight. Good gosh almighty, what's going on here? Feel like I was cheated or something, huh?
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, you need to pad the stats now. You was look like, oh, man, something ain't right here.
Yeah, that's a typo.
Yeah, it's a typo.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
But I knew what wasn't a typo when they looked over there at my assists and it had a big 0.
well, you know, we was programmed to shoot.
So how many shots did y'all average?
Yeah.
I mean, a night. How many did y'all?
Oh, man.
How many were you usually getting a night?
Well, I don't know, but, when I talked to Coach Mears, when I was in high school and he recruited me, I was shooting about 30 or 40 times a game. And he said, man, I got this program down here at UT that, I've got a star system. Guys that rebound, guys that pass, and guys that shoot. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, man, that sounds like a good deal.
Right.
So I signed right there in the dotted line. I come down here, and he says, I told you, Michael, that I was going to use you as a shooter. And I said, that's exactly right, but you didn't tell me I was going to get 25 less shots than I got, in high school.
Well, when you shoot them, you got to make them. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Maybe what, 10? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe 15?
Yeah.
15?
Hey, let's switch gears here. Let's switch gears here a little bit. Dwayne, I want to get you where are we at on Tony here, getting the number, an update.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm still at it, and I'm not going to give up. But I've made a few connections here and there. I've kind of changed as far as who I'm trying to contact now. I've about a month or so ago, I sent 30 emails to UT to all the different coaches and people that's, you know, in high positions, and guess how many returns I got? Zero. So then I kind of changed my thought process. I think I'll start contacting big donors because, you know, that's kind of how things roll, you know, money. Yeah. So I have reached out to some of those. Some of those have not got back with him, but one that's a really big donor over there, he's been going back as far as emails with me, and he believes his jersey should be retired.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this guy could literally make a phone call. All I'm trying to get him to do is to get the committee together. I'm not saying, you know, just go ahead and retire it, but at least get the committee together and look at it. And once they look at it, I think they would all be shocked. Yes, he needs to have it retired. And all these guys I've been talking to, John Wilkerson thinks it should be retired. John Pennington thinks it should be retired. All these guys, I mean, I don't know, it was 83% or 86% on that show. Sports were.
I tell you what you might need to do.
Some money. Well, I got about $2 in my pocket.
I've been telling you what you need to do. I've been telling you that. We need to form an NIL thing.
Yeah.
Once you form that,
I'll tell you, here's my philosophy on this.
They'll be calling you back.
First of all, I'm sorry you've had to wait, because I think this should be a done deal.
It should
my opinion,
be.
But
it should be.
My philosophy is, I was looking at those banners over there. They're big. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
big.
a lot of cloth in that banner. I say they're saving their money. You know, they're trying to save their money up to get the cloth. You know, to get that banner. I don't know, but anyway, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I've not been over there in 30 years. I've not been over to a game in 30 years. And when you go in, I'm going to go, and I'm going to be like the guy in Rudy that stands down there to the end when Rudy finally gets in the game. When they finally give that to you, I'm going to be standing down there at the end of the arena going.
You know.
When they hand it to you, I'm going to turn and go back to my car.
Or you might be way up there at the top.
Yeah, I may have to walk down. You know, with 15 minutes left in the first half, I may need to start down to the floor.
Now, Tony, you've been over there. Where does your banner on the concourse? You've got a banner out there.
Yeah, that's the.
What does it hang above? Is it like above a concession stand, or are you like above one of the?
It's in the hall. It's actually in the concourse.
Okay.
It's in the concourse of all the SEC legends, I think.
Yeah.
SEC legends, yeah.
Because Mike's right above the men's room entrance. I'm not kidding. He is.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
He's in that concourse.
They didn't have any problem locating mine. I mean,
but when you take
this one's going right here.
But if you look at the pictures of Mike underneath it, at the great
yeah.
kids, there's the men's rooms right beside
There's
it.
the men's room.
Yeah, and you know what? They don't have enough room in there, so usually it gets a lot of exposure out there because they're lined up all the way out there.
Yeah,
Hey, look at there.
They're looking up at you.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. Hey, we'll take a timeout here. When we return, Donnie Moore will provide high school scores, basketball scores from around the area, and veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons will join us with his feature Mark It Down. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports Page, Blount County Sports Voice, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the GoTeez Sports page. Donnie Moore, last night, a lot of high school action.
There was quite a few in the area last night. Some I didn't get scores for, but
And you're going to get to it.
Oh yeah,
We're going to get to it. But Maryville boys had a big win over at Farragut last night.
they sure did. Sure did. When you go over to Farragut and can come out with almost a double-digit victory, you're doing something right.
Yeah, and they had their backs against the wall. I think they lost to West at home, and then went over there and beat Farragut. That was a big win for them last night.
It was indeed.
Fill us in.
Okay, very good. Prep Hoops last night. That's our focus on the local scoreboard, sponsored as always by Mandy B. Street Realty. We appreciate her and her sponsorship, her company. So Prep Hoops last night, Alcoa hosted Greenville. And Lady T's came out on the short end of the stick with Greenville, 58-54. So, you know, everyone counts. That's for sure.
And Greenville's had some pretty good girls basketball teams up there, but they're not having the season they've had in the past. There were a couple of games, I think, above 500, but
you're right.
that's a little surprise there. That was held over here at Alcoa.
Yes, it was
last night. So.
Yeah, over the Thompson Gymnasium. In the boys contest, though, Alcoa boys dropped 70 on Greenville, and Greenville came up with a total of 57. So 70-57, pretty good win for the Tornadoes last night. Eagleton played Thursday. Is that right, Marcus? This week?
Yeah,
they're playing again today.
Eagleton had a little bit of adjustment, I think, making up for some weather missing. So they played last Thursday night against Berean Christian.
Yes.
And then they're playing this afternoon at 4 at home.
Okay.
Against
Very
Oneida.
good. Well, I've got one score for you for the boys for Eagleton against Berean Christian. Eagleton College and Career boys were victorious over Berean Christian, 70-53. And like Marcus said, that was Thursday night.
But they got their first 1,000-point scorer for the program.
Yeah, Austin Gredick.
And I'm not sure if they're.
First 1,000-pointer in Eagleton history.
I think they're combining JV and varsity. I may be wrong on that. I suspect that's true, but it's good for them to have the first member of that club.
Yes,
whatever shape, form, or fashion they're using, because it's still everything at Eagleton's still a first in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah, and will be for a couple of years to come, probably, at least. Moving on to Heritage, where they hosted Sequoia last night.
Big district game.
Big, yeah, it was. And Heritage girls, they're a juggernaut this year, and the boys are not too shabby either, for that matter. They're just quietly winning basketball games, and nobody's paying a whole lot of attention to them, but they're winning.
That's because the girls are killing everybody.
Well, that's true. It's 47-20 last night against Sequoia for the girls. And the boys, Heritage boys, won 58-30.
Yeah.
So,
but that Heritage boys team, they deserve a lot of credit. Because they're having one of the best years they've
sure
had over there in quite some time.
That's true. We'll talk about the boys' game from Maryville. I'm combining my words now.
There you go.
Maryville at Farragut last night.
Got a new one right there, huh?
Yeah, Farragut.
Brand new school over in West Knox.
You know, when they get build that next bridge, I guess we can start considering consolidation.
There we go. Farragut girls won this one last night, 47-28. But then the boys came back 60-51 in favor of the Red Rebels. William Blount at West last night. Did not get a report for a girls' score, but the boys, William Blount boys, lost a squeaker, 60-40. Yeah, got beat by 20. So, yeah,
that's a squeaker.
Seymour versus
the thing
Pigeon
about those
Forge.
games, they don't hurt as much. It's
No,
those
they
1
don't.
and 2 pointers and those overtimes that kill you. But you get beat 25 or 30, you just get on the bus and put on the phone and listen to some music and head back to the school.
That's what you have to do. Put it behind you, don't you?
Already know.
A lot easier.
Seymour hosted Pigeon Forge last night, and Seymour girls, Marcus, 1-1. They've won a few, but they have that. But they won this one 47-26 over Pigeon Forge. And in the boys' contest, Pigeon Forge got a little revenge over at Seymour last night, winning 69-53. They're not doing real well.
I'm going to suspect that Coach Mobley was a little upset with that one. But,
I would say you're right.
Those county rivalry games over there, you never know what's going to happen.
You're right about that. One more score for you of local interest. CAK came to Clayton Bradley last night and whipped up on CB 81-23. Yeah, that was a
fast
that was a whipping
commercial
right
score.
there, wasn't it? That's right, that was indeed. Well, that's all I've got for you for the local scoreboard for this week. I'd like to tell you that you're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM. We call it, and they call it, Mid-Century Radio. Give it a listen. It's a good station, isn't it, Mike?
It is. Yeah,
good station.
It's got that old-time music on there, and
yeah,
you know,
good stuff. All right, now I'm going to kick it over to my friend and our veteran sports writer, Marcus Fitzsimmons, for his feature, Mark It Down.
And you alluded to this. We've got great guests today.
Yes, we do.
You know, it's amazing what happens when there's not snow on the ground and how much easier it is to get people in here to talk to us. But Coach Lambert's brought some of the Rebels with him this morning, coming off that win over Farragut you were mentioning, Donnie.
Yeah.
Coach, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us.
And I was kidding you before the show, and you made me feel it, but we were hoping to get you on, but you had a JV tournament last Saturday.
Yeah.
How'd that turn out?
It was very well for the Rebels. We went 3-0 and won the JV tournament, MLK tournament over at West. It was some good basketball. You know, the future's really bright at Maryville, and we're excited about, you know, our young class.
Well, I think we can take being jilted for that. If you come back with hardware, we'll take the rejection for that. But I'm glad you could be here today. Go ahead and introduce the two guys you brought with you and what they're doing for the Rebels this year.
So I brought Braden Hazelbaker and Eli Owensby, two of our juniors. Both start for us. Started basically every game last year and so far this year. Two of our veterans, two of our leaders, and you know they're unbelievable kids. So I want to shine on them and let everybody listen to how well they you know attack each day, and it's impressive. It's impressive as an adult to sit back and watch guys like these two put in the work that they do, and you know you want to reward them. You want to show them off to the world.
Well, could talk a little bit about the Farragut win last night. You all had a pretty good lead, and it's basically it's the midway point of the district slate. You finished that one, and you're halfway done, and got to play everybody again on the reverse side. How'd you feel after the win about where the team's standing right now and how the district's shaping out?
Yeah, it was encouraging. You know, this year has been a roller coaster. We intentionally made it the hardest schedule we could possibly make it, and I think at one point we were the #1 strength of schedule in the state of Tennessee, and since then Bartlett has taken over that spot. We're second in that, but you know, and it doesn't mean anything as far as where you rank in strength of schedule, but what it does mean is hopefully you get battle tested, and our district is a gauntlet. So, you know, I knew going into this district part that hopefully we'd be tested and ready to go, and we've had some slip-ups, but last night was encouraging. It was a good step forward, and that's all we're trying to do right now. This is you know, we break it up into 3 seasons. This is the second season of this year as far as district play, and hopefully by the 3rd season we're going to be primed and peaking at the right moments. So.
Well, Braden, that point, when you get to this point in the district, it's that weird point where you've seen everybody once. What's it like the second time when you're seeing these guys again? Is it total flush of the memory of the first time meetings, or do you keep things that happened the first time in your head?
I think we keep the first things, like keep the memories of what they did, but flush the other game because it's a new game and we got to focus on now and what the task at hand now.
Is it Coach was talking about the the 3 parts of the season. Does it seem weird that you're only a couple of weeks away from the start of the 3rd season?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think the season's flown by real fast, but I'm excited to get to it.
And then, what's it? How does the team kind of feel? Like you all went through a stretch where Coach called the first season, but you had a big target. You were a state tournament team. Everybody was going to give you their best. Has that kind of backed off a little bit where it's kind of settled down into the season at this point?
Kinda, yeah, but I like having a target on our back because that means, like, we're the top team, and why not? Why would you not want to be the top team? So as the season's gone on, yeah, it's been kind of tough, but at the end of the day, we're a tournament team. We know that, so it's good. I mean, I'm fine with it.
Coach, it sounds like they've got a pretty good responsibility and maturity level for the season comes along, because sometimes you don't always get that, but they've got a pretty even keel about this.
I'm telling you, this group is very challenging. I mean, they're very challenging. They're very confident, and you got to use that as a weapon. And so we're trying to foster that. Coach Pulseris came and talked to our team for a pregame meal one day, and he had the greatest one-liner that I've heard in a long time. And he said, the target's on your back, but they need to see the front. You need to be the aggressor. You need to go right at them. There's no such thing as them seeing, the back, because you're retreating at that point. And I love the way he said that, and it's kind of changed our mentality to an extent.
Well, guys, I think this is different for every team and every season, but sometimes it's preseason, sometimes it's during the summer, sometimes it's something during the holiday tournaments. What was kind of like the bonding moment for this team? Where was like when you all felt like everybody had kind of settled into place and things were starting to click together for you guys?
I'd honestly say last night. I feel like last night everything really clicked together, and everybody was playing how they were before the season and stuff, and we kind of saw how great we could be as a team.
Okay, the really tough question. Who is this team's comedian? Who is the guy who breaks the tension and keeps things light? Who is the guy that does that for this team?
Honestly, it's kind of just everybody, because we're honestly like the goofiest team off the court, and you can't really take us serious, because I can't tell you how many times Lambert or even his dad, Randy, has gotten mad at us just for how goofy we are. But at the end of the day, we're just able to have fun, so I think everybody keeps it nice and fun for sure.
And I'm going to guess that's kind of key for you guys, because, we were talking, we gripe on this show a lot. I don't know if you've ever picked up on that, but we gripe that, sometimes players are so one sport focused now that it seems like it's just one long season for you guys. So you kind of need something to break it up and not just get tired of playing the game, right?
Yeah.
This group has a lot of fun, and they're a lot of fun to be around. And even when things aren't going well, they have, it's a blessing that they have that in them to be able to throw that out and just laugh and be kids. So it's nice. It's a nice change up.
Okay, so the other tough question is, who is the study bug? Who's the guy most likely to have a book open on the bus? Since books and games are now in the headlights, who's most likely to have a book open and be working on homework on the way back from a game?
I'd say Grant Russell, Drew Eldridge.
I'd throw those two, maybe even Luke Sigmund.
Oh yeah.
To an extent. So that's the other good thing. We got guys that take care of business in the classroom. They're students first, and so it's we never have to worry about guys messing up in the classroom, and grades have we stay on them hard each week. We get updates every Monday, and I never have to deal with it. It's nice.
Well, the tough one for you, Coach, is you're sitting there and it's a 2-point game and it's close in the fourth quarter, and you look over and one of your reserves is reading a book on the bench. What are you going to do?
Now don't give them that much credit. They ain't going to do that.
All right. and the tough one for you, you know, you all had a family thing going on. You got your dad working for you, and then it's kind of like the Mannings. Then your brother shows up and joins the coaching staff. What's that like, having another Lambert on the coaching staff at the high school?
It's incredible. You know, it's what's neat about it is when we do like a full, a full coaches meeting, and just being able to have him in there, representing Maryville baseball is it's so awesome. And he's my next door neighbor. Yeah, we live literally next door to each other, a block away from the high school. So it's a dream come true.
So is there a chance that, all these things trickle down, NIL and commercials and all that? Is there a chance we could see like Lambert cast of basketball games or baseball games somewhere in the future?
where
the two of you are sitting there.
Cast. That's a great idea. I don't know if anybody would listen, but I'd have a blast.
I think some of the players would get a kick out of it.
Probably.
Just to see you all do your own version of the cast
What's really neat is preseason we did a lot of basketball versus baseball challenges. And so nobody, obviously that's not broadcasted or seen. And so we did a lot of challenges between those two teams, and that was neat to see two separate entities coming together and having fun and having some competitiveness.
Guys, I'm so glad you could join us today. I'm going to give you the standard challenge, and because last year you came so close to it, which, anytime you come back with a trophy, you can sit here on the table in front of you, whether that be district championship, region championship, state championship. We always love to have you back with your trophy. So you can always win your way to another invitation.
That sounds like a good deal.
I mean, I know, because there's nothing teenagers like more than getting up on Saturday morning to hang out with guys over 50. So, we know that's inspiration for you. But appreciate you coming in. Congratulations on the win last night. Mike, if you don't have anything to pick on them about, I'll let you turn the page.
I was just going to talk about, that Farragut-Maryville rivalry. I was at Farragut High School when Rodney Nelson coached over here at Maryville.
Oh, yeah.
And he brought his team. We had a really good basketball team. He brought it over to Farragut one night, and we were fortunate enough to be. And we had a terrible floor. I mean, the floor was supposed to be one of those composite floors, but it was like playing in the parking lot. I mean, it was harder than rock. Yeah, it was it was a shade above Rodney's floor here at Maryville. And you know what that
rubber,
was. You know what that was like.
I've had 5 knee surgeries.
But anyway, we played the basketball game, and he got a player hurt. During the game, there was some concern about it. So the next day I decided, I better call Rodney and see how that player is. So I called him, and he says, I think he's going to be all right. He says, I just wanted to mention we're never coming over there and playing anymore. We're not playing on that floor anymore. Of course, his floor was just a step above our floor. I'm not coming over there. And I was like, well, Rodney, that's the only floor I got. I don't have any other floor. But if you got a lot of rich people over there in Maryville, if you'll build us a floor, you're going to have a better chance of you building our floor than we're going to have of Knox County supplying the money to build that floor.
Yep.
But anyway, I got a kick. We had a lot of good games. Rodney and I had a lot of good games when I was over there, and it is a tough place to play.
It is.
And I always thought it was a tough place to play at Maryville. So it was a vice versa.
Yeah.
It was a vice versa type of deal. But we had a lot of good games over there. He brought the team that he had won the state championship, or not won, but he took the state championship. State playoffs there.
Maybe?
Yeah, 89. He brought that team over there. He was really strong inside and he was strong outside, and then all those kids graduated. And he was going to play freshman the next year sophomore. He brought those freshmen and sophomores over there, and we just jumped out. I mean, we had a veteran team. Yeah. We jumped out, and he come out there and he got on the bench and he said, man, you're running it up. And I'm going, I've played everybody I can play, Rodney. I'm going to have to go over and get somebody out of the student section. I don't have anybody else to play. But anyway, we had a lot of fun, a lot of great games. But I thought about that last night when you went over there and won, because that's a good win over there for you. Really
appreciate
is.
it. Thank you.
Congratulations to you guys. Hey, it's time to turn the page, and next up it's the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week segment. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
We'll win, man.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensontire.net.
In downtown Maryville, this is Mike Edwards along with the rest of our broadcast crew, and now it's time for the GoTeez Sports Page Player of the Week segment featuring Daily Times senior reporter Marcus Fitzsimmons, sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority, proudly serving Blount County for over 75 years. And Marcus, it is Maryville High School Day. So,
well, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, but, you know, to be fair, we haven't had them on a lot the first half of the year. We've been so we're not really playing favorites here.
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence in scheduling because, like I said, Coach Lambert and I've been trying to get the boys on for a couple of weeks now, and just haven't been able to make it work out with the weather. But this morning, finally got a break in the wrestling schedule because these guys have been spending most of their weekends on the mat. But we have some of the Maryville Rebel wrestlers, Brody Lewis and Derek Dobrovoloni. Volney. Okay, I tried.
You got to have Donnie come in for that. You know better than that.
I know. I'm terrible. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us this morning. And I mean, it feels like we've been trying to get you guys to work it out schedule-wise, and every single weekend you all have been somewhere wrestling. You have been all over the place this year, and we're already to the postseason with wrestling, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you can kind of break it down and catch us up, how has the postseason gone so far? I know we're kind of in the midst of getting ready for the state team format, but the individual format's still coming up, right?
Yes, sir. We just got done with districts last week. We ended up getting third there and didn't qualify for the region duels. So now we've got a little less than 3 weeks to get everything together, start working on little things, conditioning, staying in shape, keeping our weight down, all before the individual regions. And then top 4 there go to the sectionals, and then the top 4 at sectionals advance to state in Middle Tennessee.
So I know it's a disappointment to not be advancing out of the district, but that district has gotten so tough and I won't say competitive. I mean, it's always been a tough one, but now it's even tougher to get through. Who all is kind of balancing that in? Like, who is making up that district now?
So the past few years, it's pretty much been us and Halls in the region finals, going through the district, and we've beaten William Blount and Hardin Valley for the district just about every year. And Hardin Valley's had a great team this year. I think their head coach just hit 100 dual wins this year, so they've got pretty good coaching there. They've got a lot of good guys coming up, getting better. A lot of guys working in the off season now. And then William Blount recently hired a new coach as well, and it looks like it's paying off for them too.
Well, I'm trying to get a take on this, but for both of you, is wrestling just a high school endeavor, or is it something where it's become a year-round sport and you're wrestling clubs and other tournaments the rest of the year as well?
It's definitely year-round, definitely. Yeah. It's even if we're not doing wrestling, it's just going to be in the back of your head, like, am I doing something right now to improve myself? And that's strength, that's conditioning, whether or not that's stance of motion in your own backyard, it's just always going to be on your mind.
And does that work? Like, I know that there is a certain, I won't say style that goes with high school, but do you all do like different styles on other like club levels or something like the Greco-Roman styles or anything else in the what is the prep off season?
Yeah, I recently, I got into it last year. I had a coach come up and talk to me at a postseason practice and told me he was running this club team through spring and throughout the summer. And then Derek actually texted me about it, and I got him involved towards around the middle in there. So he didn't really get to do a lot of competition, but got a lot of practicing in. And he was there for all the camps throughout the summer. Got to train with some really good guys. Got a lot of good coaching, good variety of coaching. And I did freestyle and Greco. Derek did a little bit of freestyle. I think you did some Greco too, didn't you?
I never actually got to compete over the summer. It was just a whole bunch of training, but that's actually where I got my little cauliflower ear, just a little bit, nothing major, but just a little bit.
Oh, yes, I can see that. Yeah, it's not really that noticeable. If you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have seen it. So, how important is that variety when you get to this point in the season and it's looking into that format of winning to advance? That variety and that work, how much does that come into play to have wrestled a bunch of different guys that you may not necessarily see on the way to reach the state tournament? How important is it to have that variety in the background?
I think it's been very crucial because, I mean, I never really stopped. So even after postseason, I was still going. So getting these little breaks here and there and getting all this build up for these big competitions that I need to succeed and do good in, it hadn't really been as much of a mental burden on me this year because I know I've done the work. I know I've put in stuff outside of what everyone else is doing, and I can confidently say that I feel like I'm prepared.
How much success, I guess, do you have to get to the cattle barn in Williamson County next month for the season to be a success, or if you can, is there a goal where you're like, if I have to get this far for this season to be a success for me, as far as validating the work?
I mean, for me this season, I definitely want to make it to Williamson County, and I definitely want a medal this year, as much as I can. I want to try to achieve that goal.
What about for you, Derek? Where do you have to get to feel like you feel good about this year?
Honestly, I don't know because, surprisingly, I'm only a second-year wrestler, and I'm definitely still learning about this sport, not only about the technique and the mentality, but also how it works. And I'm doing fine so far, but I don't know what's at the end of the road for me, but whether or not that's a medal or a simple pat on the back, I just know I want to feel that I've done my best, and that'll be good enough for me.
Okay. And that's not a bad approach.
Achievable goal.
I do have the tough wrestler question I love to ask, because so much is weight-based. And there's a focus on getting to the postseason and making weight right now. Come March, when this is all the high school portion is done, what's the food that you are going to hit hard because you've been missing it for the last couple of weeks?
I'm going straight to Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a Krispy Kreme right by our hotel at State, so that's exactly where I'm going when I'm done.
And that's the plan.
You already have Krispy Kremes before you lift.
No.
Derek, what about for you? Is there food you've been kind of craving a little bit the last month or two?
Milkshakes. 100% milkshakes. Vanilla, strawberry, chocolate. I think they're all amazing, and I love them.
Well, there's a Culver's not too far from that hotel as well, so you can hit that on the way home. Kind of share with us, what is the process like for practicing? Because, I mean, do you look to only wrestle people your size? Or are you looking to wrestle guys heavier than you? I mean, how do you get trained, because there's only so many people like in a similar weight class on any given team. So how does the work kind of, like, do you pair up with certain people very often? How does that training kind of work out?
I'll usually go with I have 2 or 3 people in practice that I like to drill with, and then once we're not drilling, when we're actually going at it and we're going live, I try as best I can to wrestle people heavier than me. I'll wrestle anyone that's maybe 5 pounds, 10 pounds less than me, to anyone that's Derek size, like 30 pounds on me. So I'll definitely try to get some variety in there. And wrestling people that are bigger and stronger than you always help you out.
Derek, what about for you? What's been the most instructive for you as far as the size of guy to wrestle, and what do you learn the most from? Somebody bigger or smaller or same size?
Well, I believe it is definitely probably the lower weights, because they need more technique, and arguably it's like the best guy that's one weight class below me, because their weight and strength still means something, but their technique would essentially almost have to be better because they're at a slightly lighter weight. And so it definitely presents a new challenge, and for me it creates a sense of adaptability. I have to adapt to this individual, and that just represents the many different people that I'll face on there on the mat.
And I guess one that's kind of, I've never really thought about this, and somebody asked me about it not too long ago. Has wrestling gotten to the point, like, we expect, like, football or basketball to be looking at video and looking at the other team and what they do. Has wrestling got to that point where you guys are able to look at opponents you're likely to face and watch some of their matches and get an idea for what they like to do? Has that wrestling progressed to that at this point, where you all can study an opponent?
One thing I've done throughout, because I wrestled all throughout middle school and going into high school, and I had it preached to me the whole time that get one of my buddies or my dad or my mom to take my phone or their phone and just video my whole match through. I like doing it just the whole 6 minutes, whatever, and then going through and slowing it down, breaking down little parts, bringing stuff back to my coach to where, what could I have done here? What could I have done better with this? Do I need to do this? Do I need to take a different approach? Anything like that with my technique, to my conditioning, to just my mentality throughout matches, anything.
So if you use video, it's more for self-correction than for studying the opponent study, I guess is what you call it.
If I'm wrestling a guy in the regions, or I know that I'll be wrestling him, that I wrestled two weekends ago, then I'll go back and look. If it's from a video from a year ago, I won't even bother to look at it, because so much will have changed between now and then that their technique could be completely different. But if it's recent and in the same season, I'll probably go back and take a peek at it, just like look at stuff that they've been consistent with, what they've been doing, and see if I can figure out something to counter that in case it comes up in a match.
Derek, wrestling's a little bit different when you get into, especially with duels, where you've got your 6 minutes, but there's another hour and a half of wrestling going on. How do you keep, like, what do you do to keep a focus? Especially if you're towards the end of a match, if your weight class is towards the end, what do you do to keep a focus during that while the weight's going on?
Honestly, it could be pacing back and forth, but not like aggressively pacing, just simply walking back and forth a couple feet. It could be watching your teammates wrestle, supporting them, and just focusing on that, enjoying that, maybe learning some technique from those lighter weights. And I've never really thought about that, to be honest, but when it's time, I go out there and I wrestle and I do my best.
So for both of you, do you like it when the draw says you're going to be wrestling towards the front and be in the first couple matches, or when it says you're going to be towards the end? Which do you prefer when you see the lineup?
I don't really like being towards the front or towards the back at all. I like being smack dab in the middle.
Or in the middle, 150.
I feel like there's less pressure on you to start it off and keep momentum, and there's less pressure for you to finish off a duel.
And then I'll give you this one. I'll let you all go. And like I said, I appreciate you guys coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
What's the worst thing Coach can call out for practice? What's the thing that's going to make you cringe? Man, I don't want to do that. That's going to be awful.
It's got to be monkey drills.
I got to say monkey drills. Yeah.
Got to be monkey drills.
Monkey drills.
They seem unanimous on this.
They do.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
explain to us what a monkey drill is.
So have you seen like those older football movies where they got kids rolling around in the dirt and then one of them's jumping over the other one?
Three-man rolls.
Yeah.
Those are monkey drills.
Oh, okay.
And we'll do them for.
They're tough.
We'll have a 6-minute cycle where we'll do monkey drills for a minute straight, and then we'll get up and go wrestle live on our feet for another minute, and we'll do that alternating for 6 to 10 minutes.
Wow.
I knew Coach was mean, but I did not realize he was that
tough.
mean. I got to be honest. But anyway, thanks for coming in. We're going to wish. I know you got a couple weeks left while they finish up the duals schedule, but best of luck when they start the individuals. Hopefully we'll see you down there. And I joke about going to the cattle barn, but Williamson County Ag Expo Center isn't like the worst place to go have a major wrestling event. So best of luck, and we hope we can say that you're down there when Donnie's reading off the scores in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Very much.
All right.
Mike,
Good
you
luck.
ready to turn the page?
We'll do it. Time for a break. When we return, it's the Boyd Sports Spotlight as Donnie Moore will be up with the national sports headlines, and I'll follow up with some more UT basketball. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
For over 90 years, Anderson Lumber Company in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. Locally owned, so the money made here stays here. Whether you're renovating a kitchen, bath, new floors, doors, or windows, Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store and can take care of you from design to install. We welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa for all your home's needs, or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. It's Mike Edwards, and it's time for the Boyd Sports Spotlight segment. And Donnie Moore will be in to talk a little bit about what's going on in national sports. And Donnie, college football's wrapped up, and the NFL, man, they're getting right. They're heading toward the Super Bowl here.
They sure are.
It's getting real close, but we got basketball going on, and
things flying by.
Yeah, so fill us in.
Really is. Okay, thank you, Mike. We'll talk about a few of the week's sports headlines brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs. The NFL playoffs have reached the conference championships to be played this weekend. In the AFC, the number 2 seeded Bills will travel to KC to take on the number 1 seed tomorrow at 6:30 on CBS. Bills Chiefs, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Man. The NFC features the number 2 Eagles hosting the number 6 Washington Commanders also tomorrow at 3 p.m. on Fox. The two winners will meet in 2 weeks on February the 9th in Super Bowl 59. The game is going to be played at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans and will be broadcast by Fox and Tubi at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is getting a lot of press, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
About being hit and penalties.
Being handed games on silver bladders.
I've seen a lot of
That's what
pretty
some are
interesting
saying.
deal where the referees have got Kansas City Chiefs hats on and emblems and so forth. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on
I
there.
don't know
We'll see what
either.
happens this weekend with him.
Yes, we will.
That's them
Taylor
Swifties.
Swift.
That's them
Yeah,
Swifties.
you gotta watch those Swifties, don't you?
Swifty,
Throw in
that's
Taylor
right.
Swift. I guess she's giving free concerts to the
Hey.
tickets to the officials, don't you get?
Hey, the officials have kids, right?
Yeah. Book a tickets to the family.
Hey, can't beat them, join 'em.
Yeah.
Well, former Seahawks Super Bowl champion head coach Pete Carroll was hired yesterday as the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
He will reportedly sign a 3-year contract that includes a 4th-year team option with the Raiders. After coaching the Seahawks for 14 seasons from 2010 to 2023, Carroll, who turns 74 years old in September, will become the oldest head coach in NFL history.
Wow, he's 74?
Yeah.
Well, I'm 74. I still got some time left.
Maybe you'll get a head coaching job coming up here.
There's still some hope for some NIL money here.
Yeah.
We signed you on a 6-year contract.
Yeah.
In the 6
I'm
year.
good. Got a couple new hips. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, I'm good to go.
Good to go. Well, Liam Cohen, who served as offensive coordinator for the NFC South champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers this season, is in the process of finalizing a deal to become the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cohen will turn 40 years old in November and was set to become one of the league's highest-paid OCs with the Bucs. Apparently, Jacksonville's offer to Cohen on Thursday of this week made him think twice. So he's in at Jacksonville.
There you go. Change your mind.
Yep. The 2025 Genesis Invitational Golf Tournament will be played on the south course of Torrey Pines in San Diego instead of its usual venue, the Riviera Country Club in Los Angeles. The decision to relocate the tourney was made because of the impact of the LA wildfires.
Okay.
So the PGA plans to return to Riviera for the 2026 Genesis Invitational, which is the 3rd signature event of the PGA Tour season.
Wow. Yeah.
So they're going back, but this next year it'll be played in San Diego instead of the Riviera in L.A.
All right.
The halfway point of women's college basketball is upon us, and here are CBS Sports mid-season awards for the 2024-25 campaign. Now this is just mid-season stuff, you know. I mean, everything can and will change, I'm sure. But the player of the year, Hannah Hidalgo of Notre Dame, sophomore guard. She's averaging 25.4 points per game and 4.2 steals per game. Pretty good average.
Yeah, that's a good average.
Sounds like she's getting some shots.
Yeah, she is.
All right.
Honorable mention to the player of the year goes to Juju Watkins of USC, Lauren Betts of UCLA, Paige Beckers of UConn, and Tanaya Latson of Florida State.
Okay.
Some pretty good athletes right there.
Yeah.
Great.
Coach of the year, take a guess. Dawn Staley of South Carolina.
Wow.
Coach of the year.
Yeah, well, she'll be in here Monday night.
She will. Honorable mention goes to Niele Ivey of Notre Dame, Corey Close of UCLA, and Lindsey Gottlieb of USC.
Oh, okay.
They're getting quite a few honors. UCLA, USC, Notre Dame. Freshman of the year has been Sarah Strong of UConn.
Okay.
An honorable mention, Joyce Edwards of South Carolina, Jeloni Cambridge of Ohio State, and Silas Swords of Michigan. So
got a lot of different schools there.
Yeah,
that's
a lot
starting to show
represented.
the parity that is taking place
Well,
in women's sports,
yeah,
women's
I agree.
basketball. And
I just, you know, when we're talking about Coach of the Year, I feel like they're still using a system that the men's award kind of went away from years ago. It's not just that you have a good team or the number one team. It's who has actually shown that they're coaching. I mean, it's easy to coach when you got 4 or 5 stars on the court. That's a
Yeah.
pretty easy
You got-
coaching job sometimes.
if you got the
most of
horses,
time.
it's easy, isn't it?
But I'm like, if you're looking at Tennessee, which was a team ranked at supposed to be the bottom of the SEC, and they're ranked in the top 25 and scaring top 10 teams to death with a coach who was 8 and 9 months pregnant during the first half of the season.
Yeah.
You would think that would at least get an honorable mention.
I would
wouldn't
think
you?
so.
Yeah,
Get some speed right there.
exactly.
yeah, I would say that if you're giving out those awards, the lack of respect awards going to Tennessee Lady Vols.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, to tell you right now, they've lost what, 3 ball games or
About a total of 8 points.
Yeah, a total of 8 points, and you know, you turn that around a little bit, you're looking at 1 or 2 in the nation.
Yes, you are.
And they bring those girls in and out. I like
Yeah.
that. They just constantly
Good
somebody
system.
come back in, you know, to play.
You're
Impressive, man.
Yeah,
Listen to this. Listen to this article. The 2 California high school basketball players set records on Thursday night that you probably would never see unless it was in a video game. Unbelievable. You're going to figure this out. Maryville High School senior guards Nick and Dylan Kachikian, brothers, both had major roles in their team's 119-25 win over Pasadena's Waverly High. 119.
119
to 25.
To 25.
Yeah, 119 to 25.
What they playing?
Well, apparently not too much. What's more astounding than the final score is the stat sheet, though. Nick Kachikian had 102 points in the game, 79 in the first half.
Wow.
On 48 of 60 shots.
What was this, you layups?
How tall is he? Like 7'9"?
I don't know.
Oh, man, we got to look this up.
He only played 22 minutes. Only had 22 minutes on the floor.
22 minutes.
Yeah, scored 102 points.
Now there's
What,
the
he a
league.
giant? Was he a giant?
There's the league I want to play in.
Yes, sir.
All Mike heard was he got to put up 60 shots in a game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
60 shots.
Oh, my goodness.
Now,
Man.
Brother Dylan scored no points himself, but contributed heavily to the victory with 35 assists, 15 rebounds,
Oh, my
and
God.
13 steals. Yes, a triple-double without scoring a single point.
Wow.
That's pretty,
That's
high
pretty.
quality
That's pretty
triple-double.
impressive. But
All
they're
the
not going to
thing-
remember him. They're going to remember their brother that scored 100
102
points.
Only thing I want to know,
Well,
what
last
classification is that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know, but we got to check that out.
We got to figure it out.
I'm going to do some more history on that one.
I can look that up.
Yeah, and they obviously don't have a
79
obviously
points
don't have a running
In the
clock.
first half.
In the first half?
Yeah, in the first half.
79.
He,
My
scored
goodness.
79
Yeah,
in the first half. Yeah,
I'm just, wow.
I know, really.
That must have been all layups.
I'm not sure you can. We have teams that couldn't score 79 if you just threw them the basketball for layups.
And locked them up in the gym overnight.
I mean, just to
79.
get off that many shots.
Oh, man, he must have been, what, Sam 2?
Must have.
They just didn't have the right defensive
That's
set.
like 3 shots a
obviously
minute.
not.
Shoot.
Well, last month, Colorado head football coach Deion Sanders announced that the school had obtained record insurance coverage for Heisman winner Travis Hunter and quarterback Shedeur Sanders. The coverage, over and above the regular season policies for injuries, in case they got injured,
In the bowl game.
totaled $21 million for both players. Two players, $21 million. That was coverage that was supposed to extend through the Valero Alamo Bowl,
Right.
in which the Buffs lost to BYU 36-14 on December the 28th. And then the policy would go back down to the regular amount on those two players, which was only $20 million instead of 22.
Tony, what kind of insurance did they have on you over there? How much policy?
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
Regular.
10 care.
Yeah, 10.
Probably the lowest premiums they could play, no doubt.
Oh, man. Don't even talk about that.
Man.
I bet it went on 22 million.
I'd say you're
Man,
right.
I was they had 22 million. I would have blew out my own knee.
Yeah.
I would have fell down.
Yeah.
Depends on
22 million.
who the recipient of that policy is.
Oh,
man.
it was going to be me if I
If
got
the
hurt.
school,
No, school it was going to be me if I got
that
hurt.
would have been good.
Oh, yeah, I blew out my own knee. Boom, I ran into the wall.
Like your tennis shoes.
Yeah.
On this day, except in sports, these things happened on January 25th. In the year 1894, James J. Corbett KOs English champ Charlie Mitchell in 3 rounds in Jacksonville, Florida for the world heavyweight title. James J. Corbett. Didn't they call him Gentleman Jim?
I don't know.
I don't
When
know.
was that?
That was 1894.
Oh,
Lord, I
oh
don't,
man, that way for my.
Well,
that way for my time.
Lord.
let's jump ahead a few years.
Yeah.
1924, first Winter Olympics kick off in Chamonix, France. The very first Winter Olympics, 1924, so 101 years ago. 1939, Joe Louis knocks out John Henry Lewis, spelled differently, Lewis, L-O-U-I-S and L-E-W-I-S, in the first round. Knocked him out in the first round at Madison Square Garden for the World Heavyweight title. So Joe Louis becomes the king right then, world champ.
Okay.
1960, Wilt Chamberlain scores 58 points in the game, most ever by an NBA rookie, as Philadelphia Warriors beat the Detroit Pistons 127 to 117.
Yeah. Now there's a guy put up some points.
He
Oh, yeah.
Wilt still could put him up.
The
Scored
Still.
he scored over 100 in an NBA game.
Yeah.
The Dipper.
And 58 points as a
Had
rookie.
trouble with the free throw line, but he's okay
He did,
inside.
He was dipping when he was.
1974, the San Diego Padres organization was purchased by McDonald's CEO Ray Kroc.
Yeah.
Purchased it for $12 million.
12 million.
Yeah, and he didn't give any of that to the McDonald brothers.
Absolutely.
Wow.
No. Left him out to dry.
1978, Padres trade pitcher Dave Tomlin plus $125. I'm sorry, $125,000.
There's a little bit of difference
Dave
there.
Tomlin. I just left out the zero.
Oh boy.
Well, they weren't worth much, were they?
No.
$25.
Oh,
Dave Tomlin and $125,000 to the Rangers for Gaylord Perry,
Gaylord Perry.
who promptly won the 1978 Cy Young Award. So they traded him away. 1987, Super Bowl 21 in Pasadena. Giants 39, Broncos 20. Most valuable player, Giants quarterback, Phil Simms. Phil Simms, yeah. 1989, Michael Jordan scores his 10,000th NBA point in only his 5th season in the league.
wow.
Another guy got a lot of shots.
He sure did. Sure did. 1992, Dan Jansen skates a world record 500 meters in a time of 36.41 seconds. That's flying. That's flying. Yeah, no kidding. That's flying.
That's fast science.
Sure is. Couple of birthdays here. 1935, Don Maynard. Happy birthday to Don Maynard, Hall of Fame wide receiver for the New York Titans, who later became the Jets. Late 1960s, born in Crosbyton, Texas, and died in 2022.
Oh, wow.
Don Maynard, he was a good wide receiver. 1941, Mike, born on this day, Buddy Baker, Daytona 500 winner, 1980, 19 Cup Series wins to his credit during his career. Born in Florence, South Carolina, and died in 2015. Also, let's look at 1954. Happy birthday to Condridge Holloway.
Oh,
There you go.
Condridge Holloway, a CFL Hall of Fame quarterback, University of Tennessee, Ottawa Rough Riders, Toronto Argonauts. He was the Canadian Football League most valuable player in 1982.
Wow.
Pretty good basketball player,
He
too.
sure was.
My junior year, we got cut short with a point guard. We didn't have a point guard. They didn't recruit one.
Okay.
And we had Steve Hirshhorn, but
Yeah.
he had been around quite some time.
Remember
Steve
Steve.
was like 5'6", 5'7", out there at
Yeah,
point
he-
guard, and they tried to get Condry to come out for basketball. He was a great basketball player in high school. John Wooden and UCLA recruited him out there.
Wow.
He could have played basketball, probably with anybody in the country, but Coach Mears went after him, and we basically offensively that year played 4-on-5 because our point guard couldn't shoot it.
Right.
Well, we needed him, but heck, he was playing football and baseball. That would have put him in football, basketball, and baseball. So,
Wow.
but he was a outstanding one.
He sure was. Condridge is 71 years old, born in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, I was over. He was a little bit younger than me, maybe a year or two.
So
but I was over there when he was a freshman and I believe a sophomore. I think Condry's 2
So
years.
if you play 2 sports, you get double the money? NIL?
Maybe, who
Shoot,
knows?
They couldn't afford Condry's. I'm going to tell you right now.
No.
That guy can play. You know, they drew a lot of people to freshman games. You know, they didn't have. He couldn't play varsity. And
three.
Didn't Coach Trail recruit him?
Coach Trail recruited him.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, if you play 3 sports,
they drew a lot of
3
people
times
for their games over
Yeah,
there when
no
he
doubt.
played, and
Wow.
he was exciting. Yeah.
Well, that's all for this week's sports headlines, brought to you, as always, by Fast Signs. I'm Donnie Moore. Back to you, Gunner.
Yeah, I'm Mike Edwards, and I'm here with Donnie and Marcus Fitzsimmons and
our sound crew.
Tennessee. Yeah, special effects. We're the only radio show that hires somebody for special effects. Yeah. And Tennessee basketball great Tony White's with us, and Alcoa basketball standout Dwayne Easter's also here. And Tony, I want to get your take on something that happened there a few weeks ago, and that's Cam Carr, the Tennessee basketball player who, you know, they had high hopes for over here, and all of a sudden in mid-season he just decides to head out. And here a couple of days ago he's headed to Baylor. Baylor's an outstanding program down there, you know, basketball.
It
and,
is.
I don't know if you know any more about that than I do, but I don't. Everybody's kind of lost on that. Why he would just pick up and go? Looked like he had a pretty good future here.
Well, he did. We wish him the best, but you know, with all these, I'm just saying, family members, people getting involved into the circle, he just got bad information, bad advice, and
That happens sometimes.
Well, yeah, but it don't. But my biggest thing is that you were one of the top teams. I'm just saying, in the country, and you're gonna go and quit.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty much. That's the word.
I mean, but you. I mean, I'm just saying, if you want to better yourself, then if things ain't going well, seem like if you want more NIL money, which was the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you want more playing time, which was the problem, well, I mean, you know, you got to earn all that.
Yeah.
And that's what the biggest thing that he got bad advice from his parents.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to have another. You calling. That's just like, hey, Mike, I need to have a meeting with you. I'm talking about the head coach.
Yeah.
There you go again. I think somebody else did that and wasn't very successful. Who was that? Well, he left. Adu left. Walker left. You know, people. It's just coming down to the.
You know, Tony, when you got NIL money out there, and you got impatience with players, because you know playing time and so forth, not willing to wait, you know, to the opportunity starts. You got to, you know, when I played over there, patience was built in because you couldn't play till your sophomore year.
Right.
So you had to wait as a freshman. You played on the freshman team and we played a freshman schedule, and then you got your opportunity. But now you're thrown right in there, and I can see out of high school, and you know you got the name out of high school, and everybody knows you, and you want to be successful. But you got some guys in front of you. So impatient comes in, and then you got the NIL, and then there you go.
Let's see. Okay, that's fine. I understand all that. You're correct. But my biggest thing is you only averaging. This is what's killing me. You ain't even averaging 5 points a game.
Yeah.
Hold on, listen. 5 points a game. I can do that with my left hand.
Yeah.
You know, but
Well, he needed more shots. I mean, you know,
but
shots.
But you got to earn that.
Yeah.
See, this is the part that's killing me about these kids. If I see someone in front of me, I'm gonna bust my butt. I'm trying to earn more time so I can get more. I'm not gonna sit up here and say, "Hey, I need more," and I ain't proving myself.
Right.
It don't make any sense.
Right.
You know, I mean, oh man, it killed me. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, well, you give somebody the money before they've earned the money, they're not hungry. They're not as hungry as they were if you're going after it there. But I don't know. It seems like it's all backwards.
But that's I'm just saying that's the word that I got. From from friends. People was telling me, what's going on.
But the opportunities, after this year's over, they're losing a lot of players over there this year. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for people coming in. If you're looking for playing time after this season, I'd be looking at Tennessee because there's some opportunities with people graduating and using up the NIL or their 1 year. And,
but see, what? All right, excuse me. If you're on a bad team. If you're really on a bad team and you finish the year and then you try to go, big out that money, they're not going to work. But you're on one of the top teams. If you just finished out and then you want to transfer somewhere, you still going to be known that, okay, yeah, he was at Tennessee. They was in the top 10 for the year. You would get more money that way. Yeah. But I don't understand if I would be scared to hire the I would be scared to even sign the guy if he's going to quit on the team.
Yeah.
That's the biggest point for me.
Right.
Yeah, that's I would think would be a huge red flag is not only is he wanting to leave, which is okay now, but he's wanting to leave in the middle of the season on you.
But he still got to sit out.
And, what's the advantage for him? Why would you not even,
That's my biggest thing. You leaving in the middle of the season. You leaving your team that you've been in training camp, you done did everything for, you leaving them because you have a little personal problem right now.
Why is there even a basketball transfer window open during that point?
It's not open. No. It's not open. He quit. He can't.
That's going to be a huge selling point for your next program.
It's not open. It's not open until later on, but there's one opportunity. He signed with Bella, but he can't participate. He can't play this year with him. He's still sitting out until the season is over with.
Yeah.
That's what, duh.
He just got upset, didn't he?
I mean, duh.
It'd been more to his advantage just to go ahead and play the season out.
That's what I'm saying.
And then reevaluate the situation.
That's what I'm saying.
Take a little time to think about it.
And then with the situation right now.
Playing basketball versus not playing basketball.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer.
He might even have a chance at a ring.
No. It wasn't that. It was like, I want my NIL money.
I know.
If I don't get my NIL money, I don't care if I'm playing basketball or not. That's what he showed.
Then he's not a basketball player.
And he's on his own for conditioning and everything else that he would be getting from the university.
Yeah.
Plus
he's playing for the wrong reasons.
Time.
He's on the schedule we were on back in my day. You see what I'm saying? You leave, you got to sit out a year.
Yeah.
He said, man, I'm going to try that deal. That looks like a good deal. I'm just going to sit out a year.
But the deal was he's sitting out he's sitting out for the rest of this year, but that's his only transfer that he can have. Yeah. See, that's the new rule is you only can transfer once. See, he got his transfer and he's not playing. So then he played that year. He can't go nowhere else if he want to transfer because he don't use the transfer and set out half of a year. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Bad information.
Crazy.
Parents was in, because now, parents got the agents and, hey, go tell him I want to, if you don't get this, you gone. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable these days, man.
Yeah. See you.
So
it's a whole new ball game.
Hey.
Go ahead.
You're right. It's a whole new ball game.
Ball game. It's just hard for me to relate to it. I mean, here's a guy that, these guys are getting all this money, and I can't relate to it in any way. Here's a guy, I had a car with 4 retread tires on it. I was just looking for some good tires. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
I'm just looking for some good tires here. I'm having to trade these tires in about every 2 months to get me a new set of retreads.
I understand. But see, I talked to him one time. I told him, I said, hey, man, I said, yeah, you have a great opportunity to play here. I mean, he's very talented, but he got to earn it. I said, you got to do what the coach wants you to do.
Right.
I said,
And that's, for some players, what Rick Barnes demands is not high on your priority list because you've got to play. You've got to play lockdown defense before you can take that first shot.
A lot of these kids don't understand that when you're looking for a place to play, you can't look at the name of the school. You can't. If you're interested in playing, which a lot of them, it comes down to that. Playing time and you got to look at the place where it offers you the best opportunity. You know, you got to look at the situation.
Right.
You don't want to go to a school that's got 2 quarterbacks and one of them's all SEC and he's got 2 years left and you're a great high school. Where are you going to play? How are you going to be happy in that situation? Same thing in basketball, you know, and a lot of these kids, it's and playing time, a lot of times it has to work out. I mean, when I played over there for my freshman year, the whole sophomore class left.
Right.
They transferred, you know, at Christmas of my freshman year. Well, that just left them juniors and seniors, and when the seniors left, that left the junior class to go to the senior. There was no sophomore in there. Well, that's kind of luck of the draw.
Right.
You know, I didn't have to compete. And then the right wing player at Tennessee, Rudy Kennard, that had a pretty good year over there, he decided he just wanted to play baseball. He was also on baseball scholarship, so he didn't play that. Things have to work out. I mean, you have to work hard, but you got to have a situation that enables you to kind of make the deal work. And a lot of kids don't do that.
No, they don't.
They feel pressure to go in, stay. Oh, I'm going to go to Indiana, or I'm going to go to Purdue. It's real bad in Indiana, but you're not looking at, is it best for you?
Right.
You see?
Exactly. But see, that's what I'm saying. This opportunity was, okay, Chaz was going through a little period of time. Hello, Chaz going through a period of time. That could have been you playing all those time because Chad wasn't playing well.
And making him better, making him work hard.
Making him better.
Right.
But now you getting attention to help your NIL by playing on prime time.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But it's just an opportunity. But I just think that he just got bad information and it's just terrible, man. These kids.
How much? And I'll ask both of you guys this.
What's that?
We've talked, and Mike's, and I've talked about some, but you look at this roster and what Tennessee can put on the floor depth-wise. Are they just too shallow to make a big run?
Yeah. What do you think?
Playing
a lot of minutes.
Yeah. But, I mean, personally right now, I don't think they're shallow. I just think that the guys that they have right now, Meshack got to give us at least 10 or 12. I'm talking for the rest of the year because teams are not really playing him. They're playing off him. That's why Chaz, his man, Meshack man is actually playing the zone. That's why Chaz don't have the opportunity to do a penetrate or whatever because so if he prove to people that he can score, he can go shoot from the outside, they got to give us more. Those guys, if they give us more, I think we can make a run because you know why? Our defense is there.
Yeah. Back when I played, we were 7 deep.
Right.
I mean, we played 40 minutes. I played 40 minutes, but now we didn't play pressure man-to-man press. We played a zone defense.
Right. Okay.
So that's a little bit different than playing pressure. But on the other hand, Coach Mears only played 7 players.
Right.
And the 6th and the 7th guy basically only got on the court if somebody got in foul trouble. Most of the players played 40 minutes, and a lot of the other schools, it was sort of the same way.
Right.
So to me, it's not all that big a deal, but I think it'd be very difficult the way Barnes plays to play 40 minutes of that. If you're playing that knock-down, drag-out defense, what I'm trying to say, and I've harped this for years, it takes away your legs, as a shooter. And if your legs go, you know what goes? Your shot goes, you see.
Right.
So, it takes a lot out of you the way they play. But, I think the teams I played on, we were pretty much in control. We could have won the league 3 years in a row. I mean, we were right there. I mean, we won it 1 year and finished second twice. But on those years, we lost it in the last couple of weeks, and I've always wondered where we spent.
Right.
Yeah.
Where we spent. I mean, we'll never know because that's just the way it was.
Right.
A lot of minutes.
Right.
But these guys now, for this day and age and the type of defense they're playing, Ziegler and
But they're more conditioned.
He don't seem like he gets that tired, Ziegler.
But they just conditioned that way, man. They conditioned that way now. They conditioned that way. They practice that way.
If you look at the Inkwell sketches from when Mike played, because they didn't have cameras yet.
Oh my!
They look sweaty at the end of the year. The those little drawings.
Yeah, 8mm films. That's all they had.
But seriously,
but I would have enjoyed. I don't know whether I would have enjoyed playing today as opposed to when I played, because outside of this year, Barnes is you're 3 minutes in and you're out, or you're 4 minutes in and you're out, or you make a mistake and you're out. He's got a little short wick. I think it's better this year because guys are getting a lot more playing time. I would feel a lot more comfortable with that. You get into the flow of the game.
Okay.
You get the rhythm going and everything. But this 4 minutes or 5 minutes in and out, I don't think that'd probably been for me.
Well,
but this year, I could have handled it better because guys are getting, its top 5 guys are getting a lot of playing time, especially on the wings.
Yeah.
Inside, he's rotating a little bit more. He's got players in there to rotate. But
Well, because those players are not familiar with Barnes' system.
Yeah.
They're not used to playing the defense that Barnes playing, so he rotate them. But the perimeter guys, they know the system, they condition to it, and they know what to do. So, like I say, it don't take nothing but the guys that we got. I think that we can do it.
Yeah. I want to bring something up. We talked about all these teams, that are doing really well in the Southeastern Conference.
Right.
And if you go back and look at the regular season champions through the years, there's been a lot of co-champions. 2 teams.
Yeah.
Do you think that we're going to have more? I mean, this opens it up for a couple of teams that could win. Do you think we're looking at maybe 3 or 4 teams? Could we have 4 co-champions in this bunch? Or maybe more than that. I mean, that'd be great. You got 5 teams that share the conference championship, and you tell hey, we won the SEC championship back in, us and 10 other teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What is this, Big 12 football?
I don't know, but I'm looking down the list here, and I'm going, could you have 4 teams
I think
maybe?
theoretically you could have a situation, but I think more realistically, you could have 3. You could probably have 3 with the same conference record and have it come down to tiebreakers as far as the seeding, determining the seeding, but they'd all be co-champions.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm figuring that they would find out a way just to have only one champion because of how everyone's getting seeded in the NCAA tournament.
Mathematically, that could happen.
Yeah.
But it would take a really odd season for that. It's just especially because when that's a possibility, those last 2 games, you're going to think some stuff's going to happen.
If I'm picking a champion right now, I'm picking Auburn. I'm not trying to be disloyal to Tennessee or Alabama. But I'm saying Auburn right now because of who they've played. I mean, they have played a lot of top teams, and they have beaten some teams on the road early in the SEC in their schedule.
And Auburn got one of the oldest.
I mean, to tell you, to me, they're seasoned. They're really seasoned.
Well, they should be. They got the oldest guys on their team.
They got a couple guys just a couple years younger than me on there.
I mean, Bruce definitely worked the system. I mean, he got a lot of older guys. On 6 years, transfer players.
Yeah.
COVID players.
Yeah,
and they still doing the COVID? Yeah.
I think Bruce is tickled to death with NIL.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best thing that ever happened to him.
Oh, yeah. He can move a lot of people around now.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're spending any of that money on football, so he's got a pretty deep pocket to work with down at Auburn.
Well, true. Well, true, yeah.
You can probably buy a lot of barbecue for that.
But that's why they season. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we go through the top 4. Broom. What's the guy? Azar. Who else? The other big kid. The other big boy down there that they starting. All of them are 6-year players.
Yeah.
All of them 6-year players on the team. So they're very seasoned.
Well, I mean, it's going down there and playing today. To be honest with you, I don't feel real good about it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't feel real good about it. And I think Tennessee will go down there and they'll play really well.
Right.
And we'll see what happens. But Auburn, they're really tough down there on their home court.
Well, true.
And they shoot the 3 well. They really shoot.
Right.
And 3's better than 2. And I don't know. I think that we just really don't have a lot of margin for people getting errors and for people getting in foul trouble.
Right.
Like Marcus is saying right there, it's not a factor of wearing people down. You got to worry about foul trouble because that was a big factor in that Vandy game. Especially with Ziegler out there at that point guard position. And I want to ask you this. why aren't they going with Gainey? You know, when Ziegler's in foul trouble or he's out.
Well, he was.
Well, they're bringing the guy off the bench.
Okay. Well, I thought Gainey was running back up.
Yeah, maybe.
And everything, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't answer that.
Yeah.
I think today's going to. Well, not today, but tonight will be a good game to watch.
Yeah.
I don't expect either team to. I mean, Auburn could jump out to a 15-5 lead or something like that, but. And after what I predicted last week with Vanderbilt, I probably shouldn't even look in the crystal ball.
Yeah, well, you didn't expect losing it. I mean, that's one. That game hurt. That's one place that you really don't want to. If you're going to lose that place, you don't want to lose down at Vanderbilt because you're going to go to tougher places, Tony, aren't you?
Sure. I just think from the whipping that Florida put on us right now, I think that's still kind of fresh, as in being on the road, and now they're going to Auburn. So I think that this is going to be a good game tonight. Yeah. It's going to be It's going to be a good game.
Okay.
Now we'll be talking next week, whatever happens. But I feel pretty good that it's going to be a good game.
Well, if it's close, how many shirts do you think Bruce Pearl will go through? I mean, sweating wise and so forth.
What's the over? That's what I'm
interested. I'm going to check out them armpits and see if it don't run all the way down to his belt.
He don't wear a suit anymore, does he?
Lord no.
No.
Lord no. He changes shirts at half.
Yeah. He sweats a lot now.
Yeah.
He sweats a lot. Yeah.
He's working, man.
Yeah,
he's working that sideline.
He's working.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's working the sideline all right.
He's working them wrists. That's for
Don,
sure.
before we go to break, I want to mention, the Lady Vols are, they're I think 15-3 now, 3-3 in the SEC, but they've lost to Vandy 71-70. The men went down there and got beat by one, so the women decided, well, we'll get beat by one. We'll make it a weekend here. And they lost to Texas 80-76. They're playing everything close. That's a difference of 4 points there last week in 5 points last week in losses. But as you mentioned, you take the losses in the games that they have been defeated in during the season. It's not very many points. Well, Monday they got South Carolina coming in here in Dawn Staley, and that game's at 7 o'clock on ESPN. So they're getting prime coverage. With that, and it's over here. That's a gigantic game. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. And last year, Tennessee should have beat South Carolina. If you'll remember, it went right down there to the wire, and we didn't guard the individual out there at the three-point lane.
Cost Kelly her job, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. There wasn't hardly any time on the clock, and they just threw the ball to the inside player that come in. She wasn't even really a three-point player.
No.
And hit the shot. Had him beat with last year. I'll tell you what.
I was in the tournament, wasn't it, SEC tournament?
I think so, but I'm looking for Tennessee to pull the upset Monday night over there, and congratulations to Coach Caldwell on her baby there, and that's behind her, and good news on both fronts. She's going to come back with less weight and a new baby and a new attitude and ready to go, and I'm sure she'll be on the bench there Monday night against South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't think you want to lay on the team. Hey, you don't want to start my child's life off with a loss. I don't think you want to lay that on the team per se.
No.
But, yeah, I mean, in Knoxville, the way Tennessee's been playing, I wouldn't count them out. I think they could pull that off, but I also don't think it would be a shocker to anybody outside the SEC if they did.
No. If I'm playing Tennessee, it's probably one of the teams I really don't want to play. They're not going to be an easy out in the NCAA tournament based on what they've shown here.
Right.
And they're going to do nothing but get better,
right?
In my opinion. And she's got a heck of a recruiting class coming in here. I think she's got 5 McDonald's All-Americans. I think I've been reading. So she's done a real good job with her recruiting. Yeah. So that program is well underway. And I sort of was holding off because they weren't playing anybody early.
Right.
They really weren't. I mean, they were piling up wins and looking impressive, but you just said, well, they just hadn't played anybody and they're not in the league and so forth. But they've
been losing the close games, though, man. I mean, you know what?
And that's why I think this game is really big because they've lost them close ones. Now you got this premier team coming in here.
Oh, yeah.
With national championships, that they've had in the
Contenders, yeah.
past.
Right.
It's sort of like Connecticut coming in here in a way.
Back in the day,
because they're the team now, and Dawn Staley gets all the publicity for what she's done over there.
Yeah.
And boy, you're talking about a first-year coach and beating them in here Monday night.
Yeah.
You're talking about selling your program. You're on the road.
Tennessee
big time.
seems like they get up and down the floor a lot better this year. I mean, seem like they're better.
Maybe
playing with
better
more
shape
enthusiasm. They're obviously better disciplined.
Yeah,
no doubt about that. You don't have any problem with knowing who's in control. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if they beat South Carolina and then Coach Caldwell, she might be up for one of those Aflac commercials.
Yeah.
Aflac.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Well, expect one of those.
Donnie Moore, I'm rambling on right here, but I do want to mention there, and you were giving out those accolades for SEC women's basketball midseason. You forgot one. Mulkey down there at LSU for the most extravagant dress.
Yeah, the sharpest
Coach.
dresser.
That's what I like to watch when she comes to town, just what she's wearing and what kind of outfits.
She's the Lindsay Nelson. Remember Lindsay? You always put that sport coat on. You didn't know what you was going to get with Lindsay. And here you are. And those fans have bought into all that.
They can't wait to see what she's going to wear.
They're spending all kinds of money dressing like that. Probably cost them thousands of dollars just to buy one outfit to wear to the game looking like that.
I bet her outfits aren't cheap. I'll tell you that.
And she doesn't have more. She has more than one. You don't ever see her in the same deal.
Thing, no.
She's stylish.
It's that NIL, man.
I guess.
That's for Woody. She's stylish.
I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we'll take a break here. When we return, we'll be back to close out today's show. You're listening to the GoTeez Sports page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, B.F. Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at stevensonTire.net.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, along with Donnie Moore, Marcus Fitzsimmons, and Tennessee's former All-American in basketball, Tony White, and Dwayne Easter of Alcoa basketball fame, so to speak. You back in the good old days, weren't you, with Vernon Osborne?
Oh, yeah, Vernon. He's a good coach, a good man. And he won a lot of basketball games. I think like 850-something games.
Absolutely. Do you wake up every once in a while replaying some of those games or dream about them? Or?
Yeah, but, I had a cancer bout there, and I'm still fighting. But I was at MD Anderson. They put me in an MRI, and they said this is going to be really rough. And I was going to be in there for like 2 hours and 45 minutes. They told me to squeeze this thing if I was getting to a point where I couldn't take it no more.
Yeah.
And I was about to push that thing, but then I heard Coach Osborne and Pat Flynn say, "You're not a quitter. You're not going to squeeze that ball."
Yeah.
So I held on, and I came out of that MRI. And
there you go.
And but, yeah, that stuff comes back to the coaches, and he was a great guy. He taught Sunday school class.
Yeah, legend around here.
He was a legend. He was.
Real quick, around the table, Tony, Auburn or Tennessee?
I'm taking Tennessee.
All right.
Tennessee.
Auburn.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm taking Auburn as well.
I'll see y'all next.
Boy,
I'll see y'all next week.
I hate
I'll
to.
be
I
here.
hate,
Will. Yeah,
you
I'll
gloat
see you next week.
Boy, I hate to do it, but they're down there, and I think that's a tough place to play. And that soon as Broom hits that floor down there, that place is going to go absolutely crazy when he
Every
gets
place
out there.
is going to be tough to play.
I'm going to have to say I believe all. I think it'll be a close game, but I think it's going to be Auburn.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Donnie, you going to blow that whistle? All right. That'll do it for today's edition of the GoTeez Sports Page. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media, our host, the Bluetick Tavern, and all our sponsors. For Donnie Moore and Marcus Fitzsimmons, until next Saturday, this is Mike Edwards, the Greenfield Gunner, wishing everyone good sports.
And that's the final whistle. Join us again next Saturday for the GoTeez Sports Page. The best.